And Gary, it's warming up, and behind us you can finally see the sun's coming out.
Yeah, you know, this is it's going to be really a very nice day out there today compared to everything that we had earlier in the week. I don't know if you're like me, but you see a lot of people, and when it gets like this, all of a sudden they're wearing like tank tops and stuff.
Yeah, and shorts and flip-flops. I just don't understand it.
Yeah, so there's a poem I wrote about it. It goes, cold weather makes me dizzy. My senses it distorts. Yesterday it hit 10 degrees and I ran outside in my shorts. Yeah, so, we've got today the collection of world's worst puns. I try to pile these up over the course of the year and really put the really bad ones out there once a year as we get into this time of year. So I once knew a guy who was bald like me but found a solution instead. Know where I can get a toupee, I asked. He said, not off the top of my head. So as I said earlier, they don't get any better, they only get worse. And you've got 3 more of these to sit through. So the weather must be boring for me to do that, and it is. And thankfully, as we say, joyously boring out there compared to the 5 straight first alert weather days we had this past week. You can see from our South Bend view, this is at our transmitter site, looking northeastward, and you can see the sun out there behind some lake-induced clouds. 23 degrees right now. Southwest winds at 11 miles an hour make it feel like about 12 above zero, which is a lot better than 25 or 30 below, which we saw a few days ago. Up in St. Joe, Michigan, I've been noting this. You can kind of very clearly see that shelf ice that's out there. And once again, I'd pass along the reminder, never, ever, ever go out on the Lake Michigan shelf ice, no matter how cold it is and no matter how long it's been cold. Shelf ice is never safe because you have that wave action out there that undercuts all of that. There's a lot going on underneath the ice that's on top, and it can very easily and very often does crack, peel off, do all kinds of things. And some serious injuries and deaths have been reported. So if you have especially young people, make sure you tell them never go out on the shelf ice. 28 degrees right now as we look from St. Joe, Michigan. Feels like 17 up there with that 13-mile-an-hour wind. And over in Michigan City, one of the lovelier views from the Blue Chip Casino as we look toward the rising sun, and you can see how nicely it diffracts through all the clouds that are out there. And meantime, you've got patches of blue sky. We'll see some sunshine today. 23 right now in Michigan City. Taking a look at live radar, you can kind of see where some of the gaps in the clouds are. So some places already starting to see some sunshine. Thin clouds in this area around Michiana, a little bit thicker down here over the state of Indiana right now. As we widen out, we'll see not just that the Great Lakes are kind of encased, but there also is a great deal of sunshine down in the south where they really need to melt some of that snow that came down. They're just not used to dealing with it down there. They don't have the equipment or the chemicals to put on the roadways. And so, we up here in the north can say, yeah, we know how to handle it. But the truth is they don't have a lot of that equipment. So they really need that melt that's going on right now with the sunshine that they're going to get today. Current temperatures, you can see we're in the low to mid 20s around a good portion of this part of the country, but you can also see the very strong southwest flow. So even though the temperatures in the 20s, the wind chills feel quite a bit cooler than that. Right now it feels like 12 here, like 15 down in Indianapolis. A lot of single-digit readings on the wind chills as you head over to Fort Wayne and up into Michigan. So today, even though the wind chill feels cool, it's not like that 20 and 30 below. So we've definitely made some improvement. With all the cold weather we have, there is a great itch on the part of some people to get out on the ice, either for skating, for ice fishing. If it's 2 inches or less, and we're talking about inland lakes here, never go out when there's less than 2 inches of ice. If you've got about 4 inches, that would be about what you'd want for ice fishing. And to take anything out there like a snowmobile or an ATV, you've got to have a good 5 or 6 inches of ice, and in most places we don't have that. So be very careful out there right now, and be mindful even when you're ice fishing and there might be 4 inches in one spot. If you've got currents and channels and things going through underneath the ice, make sure you check that very carefully before you go out there. Future track will show the clouds departing as we get into the afternoon hours. By about noon or 1 o'clock this afternoon, we should break into the sunshine. Still might see just a few lake-induced clouds there, but for the most part, we're going to see sunny skies as we head through the afternoon. Around 8 o'clock tonight, we've got a cold front that'll drop through, another of these Alberta clippers, as we call them. Very fast-moving, kind of chilly, but not a lot of moisture along it, so it may trigger just a few snow flurries in the late evening hours and into the nighttime. But then for mostly the morning, we'll see those lake clouds that come across with the cooler air. But once that gets through, again, we'll get into the afternoon and see some sunshine tomorrow. It will be chillier tomorrow with a high in the mid-20s. But as we head into Monday and Tuesday, we get into some much warmer air. Monday, again, the chance of a few flurries in the late evening hours. But temperatures above freezing again, 36 degrees on Monday, 38 on Tuesday. One of the things you want to watch out for on Monday is some rather gusty winds. We could see 20 to 30 mile an hour winds, maybe even 35 to 40 in some places. So put your hats on tight on Monday, but those temperatures above freezing will feel nice all the way across the board. And you can see the only day that we're below freezing there is tomorrow, Sunday, as that cold front drops through. But other than that, look at next weekend. Highs in the mid to upper 30s perhaps, and we may see some rain instead of snow. We're going to show you the 16-day here real quick because, you know, we've got a little while here where we'll be at or slightly above normal, where for so long we were below normal. That'll feel nice. We'll call it the January thaw and be happy, other than the potholes.